Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have missed you so very much, but you will not forget me because today we are painting forget-me-nots. I'm starting with thicket green, and I'm just going to work on my stem first and do a couple of really thin leaves. And once that is all on here the way I want it to be, it's not going to be too difficult. We're not going to go all crazy today. It's going to be fairly easy enough for everybody to do. So these are the leaves, and thicket green is from Folkart. It's just acrylic paint. I will leave all of my paints listed in the description, and I'm also going to put a little video at the end of this video. After you see the beauty resin, then there will be a short video letting you know where the description is on both a phone and a computer. That way you don't miss out on all my tips and tricks that have been located there all this time. Then you can go back and have fun with the rest of my videos, because I think I have like over 140 now. That is crazy. So I am simple little stem with some leaves here. Very thin leaves. We're not going to make it all about the leaves today. It's going to be about the flowers itself, the flowers themselves, I should say. Once this is a little more dry, I'm going to be using 4 different shades of blue, but I'm only using these 2 and I'm mixing them together. So French blue and cobalt hue. And what I'm doing is I'm mixing it in and making basically 4 different shades. And I'm going to use the French blue as my lightest shade. But I'm not going to be picky. Each flower petal is going to be a different color of blue. I'm not going to be cleaning my paintbrush off. I'm going to keep dipping in all these different shades of blue without worrying if they mix together. Because I kind of want them to be mixed together a little bit. I don't want this to be perfect. So we're going to keep a mixture of blues all together, and you're going to see like little streaks of dark blue, little bits of white, lighter blue like the French blue, and each flower is going to be a different shade. Each petal is going to be different. We're going to see all the brush strokes. That's what I want to do today. Sometimes most of the time, I use a sponge and I get rid of all the brush strokes in my paintings because I don't like it. But sometimes you can let it work for you and it looks good, like in flower petals. You'll notice over one of my tutorials that's coming very soon is that we work with the brush strokes again. And it's mostly in flower petals and leaves and stuff like that, where that texture that you leave there with the brush strokes, it actually works for you. So we're going to make it work for us today. I am going to be adding some gold and some glitter. I'm also going to be adding flat back crystals once I've resined. That's optional. It will still look beautiful without them if you don't choose to do that. But just take a look at what I'm doing today, and what you like, you do. What you don't, you leave out. That's your choice. And as you can see, each one is different. Each one is a little bit different. The shade of blue, each petal is different. I'm doing each one a different size. And I'm going to be doing a couple of little buds off of here as well with a little bit of purple, but that's a little later. But these are a lot of fun. I love forget-me-nots. They're so brilliant and beautiful. I just love them. They have 5 little petals. Sometimes they're purple or like a lavender color as well. But when I think of forget-me-nots, I think of like a bluish purple. And so that's kind of what we're working with today. We are going to have a little bit of purple in here too. I will be adding some glitter to the petals. And oh, I'm very excited to show you what we are doing. So make sure you check the description. If you don't know how to find it, I'm going to tell you. But make sure you check so that you can find out everything in there, including the type of paintbrushes that I'm using. My fine lining brush, I have a tutorial for that. Everything is located in the description. All my paint colors, the Santorini stone that I'm using. You don't have to use a Santorini stone. But If you are using a darker stone, do your petals in white first, let them dry, and then go in with the blue just like I'm doing now. The only reason why I'm not doing my petals in white first is because this rock is pure white. So it's basically a primed surface waiting to be painted. So if you're painting on wood or a darker stone at all, I suggest doing your petals white first. It takes a little bit longer. It's an extra step, but it's well worth it because your flowers will still be vibrant and beautiful and bright against a darker background, which is beautiful. It looks gorgeous. So each one is different. Each one has different shades of these blues in it. And I was very random with the light and the blue and the dark blue, and it looks pretty good. It's going to look really good very soon. So I'm just going to add a couple of buds with like thin stems. This is my fine lining brush here. And it's like a little green sesame seed at the end of the stem that is going to be a little bud. And they're kind of cute. Cute little buds. So while I'm letting this dry just a little bit, I'm going to be adding a little bit of bud flower, because I'm going to call it bud flowers. This one's opening up just a little bit. It's just starting to bloom. So I'm using like a darker cobalt here in that one. And then the other two, I'm actually going to do 3 of them, but in these two, I'm just going to have a little bit of blue just poking out the very top of the bud. And I will be adding some lavender to the tops of these as well. Just a little bit. Now you can see some of my flowers are floating in the mid-air. And that's okay, because they are magic forget-me-nots. When you come to Rachel's Rocks, Canada, you get magic, not realistic. You get magic. So these are magical floating flowers that are still happily together. You just can't see their stems. So don't worry. They're all going to be okay without their stems because you just can't see them. They're magic. Now, I forgot to hit record while I gave each one of my forget-me-nots a white dot in the center. Now, while the white dot is still wet, I'm just kind of dragging out like a star shape. I'm being very careful. I'm using my fine lining brush, and I'm just dragging that center out. We're going to cover the centers in yellow too, but this is the first step. This is got to make our little white star on our forget-me-nots first. So each one's going to have a little star, and then we'll go in with a little bit of saffron yellow and make some bigger dots in the center to cover those white centers. But we still want to see the star. So I'm using a bigger dotting tool, and I'm just kind of trying to make sure that the dots go with the size of flower. I don't want like a giant dot on a small flower or a small dot on a big flower. So I'm just kind of eyeing it up to make sure that the dots kind of go consistently with the size, if you know what I'm saying. So I hope everyone is doing well. I know the warmer weather is here in Ontario, Canada, finally. And I was enjoying my time outside a little bit today in the sun. And it's so nice to see the sun. And hopefully it stays that way for a little while. I hope everyone is feeling healthy, feeling strong. I hope everyone is still staying safer at home. And that hopefully this summer starts to become a little bit more back to normal, or our new normal. So I'm excited for the positive things that I'm hearing, the positive numbers that I'm seeing regarding Canada, Ontario, with the COVID crisis. So I'm excited to see that some of these numbers are going way down, and that's a positive thing. So I have added just a little bit of purple to each one of those little buds. Can you see that purple? It's just slightly there. Each one has a yellow dot in the center now. I'm going to just kind of accent the dark thicket leaves a little bit with some grass green. Not very much, just going to kind of highlight the leaves a little bit. I'll be adding sunlight to them as well using gold in a little bit. But now I will be using crystals, like I said earlier. I do let my rock cure for about 8 or 9 hours and then I add crystals. So it's an option that you don't have to partake in. You can just skip that and say, screw it, I don't want crystals. Or if you really, really like the looks of mine and you'd like to try it, definitely wait about 8 or 9 hours before you stick your crystals onto the centers of the flowers. And then let it cure, dry for another 5 to 7 hours. And they aren't going anywhere. These crystals kind of sink into the resin and weld to the stone and they look absolutely gorgeous. But if you put them on before you resin, you lose the facets of your crystal. So it still looks nice, but it looks more like a jewel that has been covered in resin. I don't know how to explain it. It just doesn't look as pretty. I like seeing the facets and the sparkle of a crystal. So I always add them in the middle of its drying time. That way it holds them in place. Now I am outlining all of my flowers. I'm skipping the black outline today. Normally I outline things in black. Today I'm just using a shade of blue to outline everything, just to kind of clean it up. They kind of look out of focus or fuzzy, but that's because I haven't done anything to kind of surround the edges of the flowers yet. So I'm just kind of cleaning up the flowers using that darker blue. And you can use whatever shade you want of the blue depending on what color your flower is or what have you. But I'm just using a darker shade around all of them and it looks okay to me. You guys let me know what you think. But I love these things. I'm going to be adding some glitter very, very soon. It's called shell powder. It's like a nail chrome powder. It's very, very, very fine, sparkly powder. And it's like a purplish blue. And I'll be dabbing it onto all of the petals very, very soon. And you guys have seen me use this stuff before. It's located in the description. It might not be available to you where you are because my link for my stuff is in Canada. So I don't know if it's available in New Zealand. I don't know if it's available in the UK. Definitely take a look for it, look around for it, because it's something that is very, very inexpensive and it does wonders to your rock art and it lasts forever. I've had mine for years and years now and I'm still using it, still dipping in, still have lots of it left. As long as my kid doesn't knock it off my desk when the lid's off, we are all good. But I tell you, it's a nightmare if he knocks it off with the lid off. I swear it was snowing like fairy dust all around us. And he just stood there looking at me with this shocked look on his face, like hugging me and looking at me with these giant saucer eyes. Like, I'm like, it's okay, buddy. It's just glitter. We sat there while glitter was raining down on us. It was beautiful, spectacular. But what a mess, you guys. Never again. I'm very, very careful. I put the lids on. So here's the purplish blue, fine glitter. You can even use eyeshadow. If you have something similar like that, just dab on the eyeshadow. And then you can do the same thing I do, which is I cover it with a glaze. You can use Mod Podge. You can use triple thick. I just cover the glittery parts. Look at that. Oh my goodness. That looks delicious. I just love glitter. It makes my eyes happy. I can't help myself when I'm around glitter. Yeah, you cover it with anything that you use to seal things with. So if you're using Mod Podge, just cover the glittery parts of the flower. This is what I'm using, triple thick. It's what I have at my desk right now, and I use it until it's gone. It's basically like a clear glaze or a clear glue. It dries fairly fast, and it just keeps the glitter in place. So I'm just covering each one, keeping that beautiful shimmer just on the flowers. And when I resin this stone, there is a natural glitter in this stone already, which I'm sure you can see the little flecks of sparkle in there. That tends to go away when you seal it. But if I seal it with resin, you can still see the glittery effect in the sun. It looks absolutely beautiful. So this is already a sparkly stone, and we're making it a lot more sparkly. So it's boring watching me fill in each petal individually, but why not? Why not share every moment with you? Since I have missed you guys so much. Yeah, so stay tuned this week. There's going to be some more coming. I have them waiting. It's just getting the time to edit, which is the longest time in the world. It's horrifying how long it takes to edit something, and and then I lose it all after I edit and I have to redo it. It's not fun. It's my least favorite part of doing this for you guys. So I apologize. The editing is taking me a lot longer with my boys home, and a lot louder with my boys home. So I appreciate your patience as usual, and I love you all. So each one has its own individual black dot in the center, but I will be covering up those black dots. You can leave it just like this if you're happy and you don't want crystals. This is actually what they look like. They don't have a crystal in the center of them in real life. So if you want to leave it like this, it's going to be gorgeous. I just signed my initials there in black. I'm going to let this dry really, really good. And I did add a little bit of gold just along the upper parts of the leaves. So you might have seen that gold there a little while ago when I was chatting. Just a little bit of gold, not an abundance of it this time. Although it's killing me to not add more gold. But we are going to see this resined in just a moment, but it's just to show you how I'm applying the crystals. I'm going to be using a wax pencil, which can be purchased on Amazon. You can get them at like a Sally's where you buy lots of nail polish and nail art stuff. They're awesome for picking up the crystals and placing them onto my stones when they are wet with resin, because resin is so sticky and it's not fun to deal with. So make sure you're very careful if you're also using crystals. Catch them at the right time. I usually resin right before I go to bed. That way I know 8 hours later I can stick the crystals on and I will be awake. So that's what I do. I usually don't get 8 hours of sleep, but I definitely make sure that I have it right before I go to bed. So I've stuck the crystals on. Look at that shimmer. You're not going to see it quite yet. I'm not going to share it all with you yet. Not until now, with my favorite color background too. So here you go. They're just gorgeous. Each one has its own little crystal on it, which is hard for you to see the beauty of that in this video, but look at the shimmer in the petals of the flower. Just beautiful. You guys can definitely not appreciate this like I can in person. It's gorgeous. I hope you love it. I hope you're able to create them just like this and be proud of them and display them or give them as a gift or leave them for someone to find on a rotten day. And hopefully they don't mind the floating magical flowers that I have here as well. They are magic. These are magic forget-me-nots. Whoa. Whoops. Be careful now, rocks. Behave. I love you guys. Keep painting, and I will see you soon. Bye. Okay, guys, this is how you find the description where all my tips and tricks are located. So we're going to take a look at a recent video here. It's the Painted Stone Happy Hippo, and I'm just going to pause this. Pause it. Pause. There we go. Now, see this little tiny down arrow, this little tiny one? That is your magic button. then you scroll down and everything's in there. Paint colors, my PayPal account, everything I use, the sponge daubers, my resin tutorial, my fine lining brush, everything is located right there. So yeah, that little down arrow, if you're on your phone, you look for that little down arrow and that will bring you to the description as soon as you scroll down. If you are on a laptop like this, there we are. Hello, laptop. So I'm just going to remove this ad here. Click that out of there. That's not really good for me, but oh well. This is my sparkling butterfly tutorial. And all you do is scroll down and you can see right there, it says show more. So I scrolled down a little bit, click show more, and now I can scroll down even more and see all of my secrets in there that I share with you guys. So that is how you find it. I hope this helps for those of you who have been struggling to find the description. Don't forget to hit subscribe. That should be in the lower corner on your screen there. And oh, there's my sparkling butterfly tutorial. I will leave that in the description